Mr. Speaker, as is customary at this time of the year, I offer congratulations and say thank you to Team Region 10 for being once again successful at the Ministry of Education Guyana Teachers Union Championship last week. This is victory after hard work and dedication from the athletes, being well coached by our coaching team, who are mainly teachers, supported by parents and guardians, the regional administration, and all residents of Region 10. The teachers as a group, and some in their individual capacity, deserve national recognition. Mr. Speaker, permit me to make some brief remarks on the previous speaker, Honorable Joe Hamilton. Mr. Speaker, I care not to dwell on the issues of Mahdia Monument, which he was fond of, and also to give us a roundup of elections. But what this administration is concentrating on is to repeat and better our performance in the 2015 elections. Mr. Speaker, economic order, social order, democracy, and good governance, which all lead to the good life, has been the pillar of our administration. The good life that we continue to provide while steadfastly making it better is what we promised while campaigning in 2015, and with time, with clear signs of a long reign in government, the life of Guyanese will only get better, as this budget suggests. Mr. Speaker, we have indeed upped our game, realizing that timely budget, orderly, legal, and adequate availability of funds is critical to our administrators executing their plans. Hence, we have now presented our third budget to this House before the start of the financial year. What a proactive, caring, and orderly government. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that this AFCA-PNU government have been transforming our economy. We have been empowering our people, and we continue to build sustainable communities as we deliver the good life to all Guyanese. Testimony to this is empowering our people in the fact that 2018, we gave more than 80% of the work in Sub-Region 2 and the riverine areas of Berbice, Demerara, and Essequibo of Region 10 to our Village Council and Lone NDC Kokwani. This represents 31 projects and over 50 million, of which over 75% have been completed. And on examination, Mr. Speaker, I am proud of the work done. 2019, Mr. Speaker, will see our good life mantra continue, with the APT team transforming the economy, empowering people, building sustainable communities for the good life. Building sustainable communities, Mr. Speaker, is not restricted to what presently is happening a few blocks from where I reside, in Ameli's ward. That is the government partnering with contractors as potential homeowners partner with financial lending institutions to provide high-quality homes in communities which have a number of modern facilities. We have moved away from giving house lots without basic infrastructure to giving home in communities, and hence I have seen potential homeowners with brimming smile, teachers, nurses, laborers, etc., visit and examine with satisfaction the good service of a caring government. And what should be noted with this project, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that we have almost an exclusive Linden workforce with local contractors, and I was reliably informed that more than 90% of building materials is purchased from businesses in Linden. Yes, we are empowering our people as we build communities. Mr. Speaker, before I get further into matters of my region, it would be remiss of me not to congratulate Minister of Finance, Honorable Winston Jordan, and his team for facilitating and further enhancing the life of Guyanese with this Good Life $300.7 million budget. Billion dollar budget. Thanks for the correction. Noted in our measures is the 7% increase to the most vulnerable group of public servants, coupled with a no tax back pay to all, the work of a caring government. We have seen a number of ICT transformation in Region 10. 12 such hubs have been developed, and I was reliably informed that 3 more will be put in place before the end of the year. The work of a caring government, Mr. Speaker. Youth initiative and initiative to help the elderly and youths have been progressing well in Region 10, and it is our intention to further this work in Sub-Region 2. Mr. Speaker, I'm impressed, and so should all patriotic Guyanese, with the development of the Green State Development Strategy, Vision 2040, which will guide national development policy for the next 20 years. Supporting this strategy at the regional level is a plan of action for regional development, PARD. Region 10 plan was completed over 2 years ago, and I look forward to its implementation. Sir, the only town in my region has benefited from the better mix of councillors due to our law-abiding attitude of having local government elections on time. Kokwani NDC have similarly benefited, where 4 different parties now have councillors. The opposition, even the opposition, should be proud of this. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to the giant step to constitutional reform. Mr. Speaker, in 2005-2006, when I started my active political journey after being dissatisfied with both national and regional administration failures, I was dumbfounded when I realized that all the talk about agriculture in Region 10, no program existed. No direct budgetary provision was made. The intention, I was told, is to have support through the national program and support through the admin and infrastructure budget in the region. This has not worked, and I'm excited that 2019 budget will see an agriculture program in Region 10. The 51 million, despite not adequate, is a commendable start, and with the necessary structure, inclusive of human resources, being put in place with alacrity, the agriculture program will be a successful one. Mr. Speaker, this new program will particularly benefit the residents of Sub-Region 2 and aid in the regional and national food security mandate. Region 10 is blessed with vast quantity of arable land and the necessary basic infrastructure for crops and livestock production with this budgetary intervention. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding, support for agriculture in Region 10 will continue to benefit from national program, as the intermediate savanna of Sub-Region 2, Region 10, will see the construction of a modern agricultural resource facility costing $220 million at Ibini. This facility will focus on orchards, nursery, seed production, and the breeding of cattle. Additionally, a vehicle generator with generator shed with a biogas digester will be provided at Ibini. Further expansion of the Shade House project will continue in my region. Mr. Speaker, investors and entrepreneurs are showing interest in aquaculture in Region 10. And with the development of the technical capacity in the fishing department, the necessary support will be added. Mr. Speaker, our new agriculture program in Region 10 will see capital works of $22 million, catering for the purchase of furniture and equipment, setting up of shade house, and importantly, the upgrading of the Fairweather Road at Middy's Hideout, where our farmers are struggling for ingress and egress. Mr. Speaker, I do believe that before the end of our next cycling government in 2025, Region 10 will be food secure. Forestry. Mr. Speaker, the forestry sector is an all-important sector to Region 10, particularly in Sub-Region 2. Forestry is the lifeblood of our citizens in Ituni and Kokwani and other areas in Berbice, Demrar, and Essequibo rivers. I know the projection of our forestry sector to grow by 1.9% in 2019. Mr. Speaker, the contribution of foresters in Region 10 will depend on the condition of the roads. The condition of trail adversely affected production in early months of 2018. This has since been resolved with contracts that now include continuous maintenance. Contracts to the tune of $13.3 million and $11.3 million and $13.8 million were given out in the middle of the year. Mr. Speaker, of a national budget of $300.7 billion, $3.9 billion, an increase of 12% over 2018, has been allocated to Region 10. In addition to the new programs of agriculture mentioned earlier, this sum will be used in the traditional programs: administration and finance, public infrastructure, education delivery, and health services. Administration and finance. Mr. Speaker, $341.6 million, or 87% increase of the region budget for admin in 2018 was allocated to our region. $112 million is allocated for expenditure under capital items. $8 million will be used for the purchase of a vehicle, and I'm told that the vehicle will be made available to the important area of Sub-Region 2. Computers, desks, and other items will be purchased from additional sum on the capital budget. Infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, under the Region 10 Public Infrastructure Capital Works, $116.2 million is allocated to supplement the work of National Public Infrastructure Program. Our public infrastructure projects are intended to improve access, drainage, and transportation. Works to be undertaken include bridges at Karakara, costing $10.8 million, upgrading of roads at Widrock, Silver City, Christianburg, Block 22, costing a sum of $69 million. Mr. Speaker, this is a continuation of our selective road upgrading in 2018. We're part of Main Street, Amelia's Ward, IC Road in Block 22, Christianburg, Wisma Housing Scheme, Motuka and Richmond Hill, internal roads, Blueberry Hill, and new scheme Amelia's Ward were all done. Further, Mr. Speaker, $29 million is budgeted for upgrading of drainage systems at 1 Mile Extension and Silvertongue in Wisma. Mr. Speaker, because of our undulating topography and soil type, flash floods and erosion is a constant threat, and thus much relief will be brought to our residents with the works undertaken. Residents are particularly pleased that attention will be placed at the national level on the Linden-Suzdike Highway, the Linden to Kokwani Fairweather Road, and the Linden to Maburu Road, particularly the upgrade of an all-weather road of 6 km at the latter. This will not only bring relief to motorists, but also to residents of Wisrock and Jagsburg scheme, since dust in the dry season is unbearable and a health hazard. Residents of Andyville and Blueberry Hill Back Road look forward to similar intervention for the Back Road, Amelia's Ward, backward Blueberry Hill area. Finally, on the public infrastructure from capital budget and on the land and transport, $7.4 million is budgeted to purchase ATVs, which are essential considering our terrain. The total of $16.2 capital budget for 2019 is distributed on the bridges, $10.8, roads, $69 million, and infrastructural development, $29 million. Noted is the absence of agriculture budget, which was $15 million in 2018, since agriculture is now an independent program. Education delivery. Mr. Speaker, on the education delivery in 2018, the regional administration made tremendous strides in the maintenance and repair to our schools and provision of modern and better teaching, learning programs and equipment. Our Wilson Primary in Aichuni, Kokwani Secondary, several of the Riverine schools, Wisborg Secondary, Harmony Secondary, and Wisma Christianburg Secondary were some of the schools that benefited. Much needed rehabilitation work continued on the proposed annex to the Kokwani Primary School, courtesy of Kokwani National Resources Organization. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2018 provided $2,131 million for the education delivery in Region 10. This has since been revised to $2,154 million. This allocation has caused improved delivery in our region. I look forward to work being done in a timely manner in Kokwani and the Borbis River. The continuous presence of the district education officer since the accommodation has been refurbished and is now ready. Mr. Speaker, with support from the Office of the Prime Minister and the forestry sector, an award ceremony for the first time was held for outstanding students of Sub-Region 2 for the SSE. Students from Howell Wilson Primary and Ichuni dominated this prize-giving exercise. Mr. Speaker, $2.4 billion is allocated for the region under current and under capital items for education. The capital sum, sorry, that is on the entire sum. The capital sum will see $197 million on the buildings used to build a primary school and nursery school at Bamia, Upper Amelia's Ward, which will provide much relief to residents of the fast-growing Amelia's Ward new scheme and better accommodation for students cramped in primary school in Bamia under a community center. Construction of outdoor playing areas at Children's Garden, Kokwani Waterfront, and Weruni Nursery will all come from this sum. While much needed incinerators will be built at the hostel in Kokwani and Amelia's Ward. Still under education delivery, $3 million is captured for land and water transport, which will provide much needed relief to our district education officers as they patrol the region. Mr. Speaker, finally, under furniture and equipment at the education delivery, $15 million is proposed for the provision of school furniture and equipment, including equipment for smart classrooms and TechVoc, which is a very important program in Region 10. For an holistic curriculum, music and sport equipment will also be purchased. Mr. Speaker, I am convinced that with the allotted $3.9 billion for Region 10, our residents will be well served, and there is every intention to have timely tendering, effective monitoring and evaluation, all which will result in greater impact and outcomes to our people. Mr. Speaker, I have no reservation in commending this $300.7 million 2019 budget to this Honourable House for its safe passage. Thank you.